Hey guys, I need to do a shout out for Mr. ATC from My ATC TV DIY. And he designed, made, and sent me this awesome piece of craftsmanship. And he made it perfectly to fit in here to be a stand. This will go on your bed, this will go on your desk, and he has instructions on how to make one of your own. I've got links for him below, and there should be a card popping up above if it hasn't already, so go check him out. He's amazing. And now my one and only warning, spoilers ahead. With the release of Stranger Things Season 2, we were left with what felt like a half season and a fairly ungratifying finale, but there's still a lot of potential left open for season 3 and beyond. I have a few ideas for Stranger Things, but the first and maybe the most obvious theory that I want to cover is that Eleven isn't really Jane. So let's look at Eleven's story arc in season 2. Elle's with Hopper, she runs away to find her mom, who sends her to find 8, who teaches Elle a few things, but then ultimately Elle goes back towards Mike and Hopper and all the gang. I have a few issues here, namely, aside from Elle, we now know there's up to 10 other young children living with powers in this universe. In all likelihood, most of those kids have been killed through failed experiments or from accidents that occurred while trying to escape the DOE. Still though, if test subject 8 is alive and proving that other kids with powers exist, then why are we assuming that 11 is actually Jane? The children we see in the Rainbow Room are an Indian girl, very plausibly 8, and a younger white girl with straight light brown hair, yet 11 has really dark curly hair. Okay, so maybe Eleven's hair was altered in some way over the years through hormonal changes or as a testing side effect or whatever, but let's not forget that 11 has absolutely no memory of any other children from her past. With Elle being locked up so much, to the point that she clings to her time with Mike and the others, I doubt she would have completely forgotten that 8 existed. Think about it, 8 remembers Jane, but 11's the one that tells 8 they used to play together in the Rainbow Room. 8 doesn't recognize 11, and she has no way to comprehend how else Elle would know that information, because Elle never fully described her powers to 8, meaning 8 only thinks that Jane is 11 because 11 said she was. Then, let's really think about what happens when 11 visits Terry's mind. Terry thinks she's seeing Jane in that weird in-between world that 11 goes to. I call it the in-between, my husband calls it the sideways, but let's face it, Terry's mind is shattered and she has no clue what Jane would look like. So she could have been mistaken, or Elle could have been mistaken and Terry was trying to say, find Jane, or have you seen Jane? Even in Terry's house, 11 is shown Terry's memories, but there's nothing that definitively proves that 11 and Jane are the same person. It's just as easy to assume that Terry was trying to tell 11 everything she knew so that Elle could go seek out Jane and rescue her. Plus, when 11 says, I'm home, Terry responds with, no. I think if Jane were truly her daughter, Terry would find comfort in her presence and want 11 to stay nearby. So to send her on a quest to find 8 was almost like telling her to team up with another supernatural teen so that they could go save the real Jane. And remember that Terry was keeping files on missing children, and we see very little of the DOE interior, so more children could still be in the Hawkins National Laboratory in some MK Ultra lockup. Hey, they could even have kids at other DOE facilities across the country. The only thing we're told for certain is that the government has stopped messing with the Upside Down and the in-between, but 8 had no connection to that world, meaning the kids had other purposes and all other test subjects could still be in play. Not to mention, the only reason that we even assume that Jane and 11 are the same person is due to the approximate age, race, and gender of Elle, but with the hint of Dr. Brenner still being alive, I suspect he will eventually resurface and drop the bomb that Jane was a completely different child that died during testing. Yeah, I might be overthinking it, but that's literally my job! Well, that's all I have for now, but this video's not quite over yet. I get a lot of comments that say, do a theory on this topic, but I've already done those theories. So please consider going to my main channel page and clicking on the video tab so that way you can see everything I've done. You will probably find a lot of things you like that you never even knew that I posted. I want to let you know that I also have 2 other channels, Say Halo Goodbye Gaming and the Fanily Family Vlogs. Thank you so much for for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to hit subscribe and share. I can use all the help I can get to let other people know that this channel exists. And if you made it this far, leave me a comment that says something like, "Hey, I made it to the end." And then let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. I can't make any promises, but the more people that request something, the more I can look into it. Okay, well, I love you. I'll see you in the next video.